I found this article that I wrote a while back about motivation, and I thought this was a good topic for me to launch my new series that I'm gonna do called Food and Fitness Fridays. So I have these goals for myself. I mean, you only get one body. There is no do-over. You mess this one up, like that's it. It's over for you. So motivation is an important process to get started. But one of the things about motivation is that we think and we believe that we have to have that in order to get started. Like we have to have motivation to start something. And I mean, logically that makes sense, but that's honestly just not true. That is not how it works. So, what I'm going to do today is read from the article that I wrote previously and talk about it. Okay? So, let's get into it. All right, so the article states motivation is a tricky word. It's a noun, so that means it's a thing, an invisible thing, abstract. We use that word to define the thing that keeps us going, like a goal, or to describe the purpose behind what we do, like a loved one. The problem arises when we think of those things as if they are motivation. They are the purposes behind the motivation, but not motivation itself. Motivation is its own separate thing, a thing unto itself. So why would I call it a myth? I did not feel like writing this morning. Today is one of those days when I just wanted to watch TV or listen to music. I just wanted to let my mind rest and do nothing. However, that was not going to work for me. You see, I made a commitment, a goal to myself, that I would write at least 1 hour per day. The best time for me to do this is in the morning when my mind is freshest. So why not just skip this one morning? This like this is taking me back because I forgot all about like all of this. I forgot I ever wrote this. I forgot everything. But now as I'm reading this, it's like bringing all of this stuff back for me. I read a book last year, The Richest Man in Babylon by George Samuel Clayson. It's an old book, like 1926 old. In fact, the free audiobook is on YouTube. There is a passage from the book that talks about self-commitment. The character is telling a story about setting a goal to throw a pebble over the bridge every day he crosses it. He said, if one day I forget to throw the pebble over the side, I won't just say, oh well, I'll throw two over tomorrow. I will turn around, go back to the bridge, and throw the pebble over. That is commitment and the seed of motivation. Let me explain. I mean, like, this is good stuff. You know, like, I forgot all about this. Like, me reading this now, it's like, girl, you already had the answer. You just not using it. We're going to use this. Okay. Moving on. Motivation is not a thing that just miraculously pops up out of nowhere. And that's the mistake many people make when they set a goal and then have difficulty following through. Consistency is hard, trust me, I know. But it's only hard because we come into it from the wrong angle. The way people think of motivation today is first comes motivation, then comes planning, then comes success. Not so. If that's what you think, you will fail every time. There is a method to this thing, and it does not start with motivation. No wonder consistency is so hard. Let's break it down using my own story. Historically, I have set goals, not so smart goals, for myself, and I start, but I burn out quickly and give up. The first time I stumble, that's it. Show's over, go home. I mean, every single time. It's the same reason the gyms are so packed in January, but look like a desert in March. I used to think it was lack of motivation, but not quite. There is a process to this whole motivation thing. It's not hard, but it has to be done in its proper order or it will not work. We'll take a closer look. Hey, I had to come in the house because the sun was going down, the mosquitoes were trying to kill me, so we coming in the house. I may film outside some more. I like the lighting. I know, but we're gonna make it happen. All right. Strong desire. The first step is to have a strong desire. Strong is the key word. Desire must come first. I'm not talking about the thing you kind of want or the thing that would be sort of nice to have. I'm talking about the thing you want as much as you want air to breathe. You ever been there? It's the thing you can't get off your mind. This thing, desire, usually sprouts due to circumstances we no longer find tolerable. We get fed up with things being the way they are, and bam, here comes strong desire for change. If it's not there, you will not succeed in making a lasting change because you won't want it bad enough. This is the thing that people usually confuse with motivation. Desire is not motivation, but it is 100% necessary. What's the next step? Seek knowledge and plan accordingly. Planning is the next step. We don't always know what to do to change, but I guarantee you, someone does. Someone has been there before you. If you have a desire, but have no clue how to achieve it, go to the people who have been there before and have been successful. Do not ask your broke friend for financial advice. Maybe talk to them about what not to do, but then get advice from somebody who has been there, done the thing, and been successful. These are your experts. Once you have some direction, make smart goals and hold yourself accountable. This is your pebble over the bridge moment. This is the commitment piece of the process. Once you make the commitment to yourself, you must keep your promise. The alternative is to be a liar. This will not be hard to do if the desire is strong, but still, this is not motivation. What is this motivation? Motivation comes next. What is motivation? Motivation is a byproduct of action. The desire must be there first. Next comes planning, then comes action. Last comes motivation. Why last? It sounds like motivation has been there the whole time, right? No ma'am and no sir. Motivation is the thing that kicks in when you want to give up. Like me this morning. I wanted to take the day off from writing, but it would have been the easy thing to do to sit in front of the TV and be lazy before going to work. So how did I overcome that urge? I made the decision to just turn the computer on like I do every morning. Don't think about it, just make the first action. Motivation springs from the mundane. Mundane means things that you can do without having to think about it because you've done it so many times before that it's just an automatic response. An example would be riding a bike, driving a car, brushing your teeth, walking, talking. These are things that are just everyday kind of things that you don't necessarily have to think about. You don't put a lot of thought into. And so motivation comes from doing those everyday kind of things. Next, I decided to turn on the classical music I usually play when I write. Then I decided to sit at the desk in front of the computer. So what's the next logical step? Start writing. Seems too simple to be true, but I promise this is how it happens. That's how it happens when it's done properly. The problem is when taking out of order, people sit around waiting for motivation to make them move. It doesn't work that way. That's why I call it a myth. I would say the more appropriate term is myth-ish. It's real, but doesn't work the way people think it does. I mean, this is some good stuff. I don't know what I was I'm saying. Like, you talk about taking your own advice. Okay. Experiment. Do a little experiment and see what happens. Think about something you have strong desire to do or accomplish. Are you overweight and unhappy about it? Do you wish you had better control of your money? Have you been wanting to go back to school? Whatever it is, ask yourself, How bad do I want this? If the desire is strong, write it down. Next, make SMART goals and give yourself direction. Remember the pebble over the bridge? This is your chance to make a commitment to yourself to make real change. Find your experts if you need to. YouTube University is free, but be sure to check your sources. Last, get started. Do something, anything, toward reaching your goal. When that little voice kicks in and tries to convince you that you're wasting your time or that it would feel so much better just to be lazy, decide to make the first action and motivation will come, guaranteed. Conclusion. Motivation can be powerful, but it cannot stand alone. Desire must first be strong enough to create a drive in you that cannot be penetrated. When the voice inside says give up, you must decide to go back to the bridge and throw the pebble over its side. Why? Because you said you would. This is the only way the strong desire will ever turn into an accomplishment. One action will drive you to the next and the next and the next. It's just that simple. So the next time you find yourself stuck and wavering on the edge of giving up, make the first move and motivation will carry you the rest of the way. I mean, girl, that was some good stuff. I mean, so now here we are. I think I wrote that in 2018. So now we are, 4 years down the line, and we're having the same conversation over again. So what I am doing is making a commitment to myself to get myself physically together. I mean, like I said, you only get one body. And if you abuse it, you don't take care of it, it will fail you. Your body will adapt to whatever circumstances you put it into. So if you want a strong body, you have to create it. You have to put it in situations and circumstances for it to become strong. Because if you don't, your body will adapt to whatever situation you put yourself in. If you're used to being a couch potato, you will have a couch potato body. And that's not what I want. Also, as I get older, I would like to still be able to move around independently and walk and be active and do all the things that I do now as I get older. And so I have lots of examples to look at of people who do it right and people who have done it wrong and are now suffering the consequences. And my goal is to not be that person. So I got some physical stuff going on that I need to take care of now so that they don't grow into a bigger issue. So my goal is to start working out, to start eating better, to start meal planning and planning ahead on what I'm going to have for lunch so that I don't have to go to the drive-thru, all of the things. I also want to do some research on some rehabilitative exercises that I can do that can help me maybe improve my knee without surgery. Also to manage scoliosis so that I don't lose flexibility or become crippled as I get older. Like, no one wants that. So those are some of my goals, and I need to make a commitment to myself. So I'm going to sit down, write some SMART goals, and hold myself accountable to do what I said I was going to do. I encourage you to do the same. Come along on my journey. Maybe we can motivate each other. So Food and Fitness Fridays, coming soon. Stay tuned. And as always, fear nothing, assume nothing, take nothing for granted. All right, y'all. Go be great.